Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for stopping by this evening for our weekly intel report for the week of February the 1st, 2023. So, earlier this week, Iran had a pretty eventful night. A drone attack on an Iranian military facility that resulted in a large explosion in the center city of Isfahan on Saturday was the work of the Mossad, Israel's premier intelligence agency, according to senior intelligence officials who are familiar with the dialogue between Israel and the United States about the incident. The facility's purpose was not clear, and neither was how much damage the strike caused. American officials quickly sent out word on Sunday morning that the United States was not responsible for the attack. One official confirmed that it had been conducted by Israel, but did not have details about the target. Sometimes Israel gives the United States advance warning of an attack or informs American officials as an operation is being launched. It is unclear what happened in this case. Isfahan is the site of 4 small nuclear research facilities, all supplied by China many years ago. The facility that was struck on Saturday was in the middle of the city and did not appear to be nuclear related. On the 28th of January, Iranian Navy ships were allowed to dock in Brazil despite being under U.S. sanctions. This means the ships can travel to Panama Canal without hassle. Earlier, Panama deregistered Iranian ships to prevent them from carrying oil to the U.S. Iran downplayed it as a major issue, saying they would ship oil in their vessels. Since then, the U.S. has been monitoring Iran's Panama transit with a hawk's eye, especially the country's military presence. Taiwan activates defenses in response to China incursions. Taiwan scrambled fighter jets, put its navy on alert, and activated missile systems in response to nearby operations by 34 Chinese military aircraft and 9 warships that are part of Beijing's strategy to unsettle and intimidate the self-governing island democracy. Taiwan's defense ministry said 20 Chinese aircraft on Tuesday crossed the central line in the Taiwan Strait that has long been an unofficial buffer zone between the sides, which separated during the Civil War in 1949. China claims the island republic as its own territory to be taken by force if necessary, while the vast majority of Taiwanese are opposed to coming under the control of China's authoritarian Communist Party. Ukraine's defense minister has said Russia is preparing a major new offensive and warned that it could begin as soon as the 24th of February. Oleksiy Reznikov said Moscow had amassed thousands of troops and could try something to mark the anniversary of the initial invasion last year. The attack would also mark Russia's Defender of the Fatherland Day on the 23rd of February, which celebrates the army. Mr. Reznikov said Moscow had mobilized some 50,000 troops for the offensive. In September, Russian President Vladimir Putin announced a general mobilization of some 30,000 conscripted troops, which he said was necessary to ensure the country's territorial integrity. But Mr. Reznikov suggested that the true figure recruited and deployed to Ukraine could be far higher. Officially, they announced 300,000, but when we see the troops at the borders, according to our assessments, it is much more. He told the French BFM network the BBC cannot independently verify this figure. Despite some heavy fighting in the eastern Donbass region, the war has entered something of a stalemate in recent months since Ukraine retook the southern city of Kherson. Keep in mind, in recent days, that has started to change, as we've seen an uptick of that activity there. A Russian rocket destroyed an apartment building in the eastern Ukrainian city of Kramatorsk late on Wednesday, and at least 2 people were killed and 7 injured. Regional Governor Pavlo Kirilenko has said in a report, quote, rescuers, law enforcement, and public utilities are working at the scene to go through the rubble of the destroyed building. It is likely that people are still underneath, he wrote on Telegram, on the official Telegram a page, I believe, for Governor Pavlo Kirilenko. It is likely that people are still underneath, he said. So again, they're still kind of trying to comb through that rubble and that debris, and these casualty counts will most likely go up in the coming days, as we've seen time and time again. Fierce fighting continued in eastern Ukraine, where Russian troops are trying to gain ground near the strategic logistics hub of Liman. Deputy Defense Minister Hanna Mailar said on Wednesday evening, Russian forces are trying to make gains that they can show on the anniversary of their 24th February 22 invasion. So again, Ukraine's president, Volodymyr Zelensky, said a definite increase has been noted in the offensive operations of the occupiers on the front in the east of our country. The situation has become tougher. Moving on from that, Britain's Defense Secretary Ben Wallace has said he does not think it is the right approach for now to send UK fighter jets to Ukraine. We've seen echoings of these statements by the US and some other countries as well. He said it was, quote, not a solid decision, adding, quote, I've learned two things: never rule anything in and never rule anything out. Meanwhile, Downing Street in the UK there has continued to rule out providing Kyiv with British jets, saying it was not practical given the complexity of the jets. We'll head over to our aircraft map here, and I'll show you a little bit about what's going on in Ukraine's airspace for this evening. So again, for those of you that don't know, since the start of the full-scale invasion, commercial aircraft over Ukraine have pretty much been null and void. As again, it's basically a no-fly zone for commercial aircraft, that is. Fresh on the radar is an RCH-195, also a C-17A Glowmaster 3 from the United States military. Spotted on radar just a few hours ago here over the water. Again, we're going to have to keep an eye on that destination. It's a Skrilersky UH-60M Blackhawk. Is spotted in the western United States in Idaho, it looks like. I'll talk a little bit about our naval situation here. Let's get over to our marine traffic maps. So again, traffic is pretty much business as usual in the Black Sea. Over the past week, we've seen more vessels frequenting these kind of northern areas of the Black Sea. Yes, so we did complete the $1,000 goal of the Sign My Rocket fundraiser this evening. Basically, we're getting a 155 millimeter artillery round with a message written on it. In fact, I can actually show you guys what it will look like here. We'll bring up signmyrocket.com here, and so it'll look something like this here. So we'll have a video. So a video here, and it'll have oops. So it'll have a message here. So it'll say something like, subscribe to Nemico Network, or Nemico Network sends its regards to the Russian occupiers, or something like that. I'm probably going to do we'll do a vote. We'll probably put it to a vote as to what we should say. I'm going to come up with like a few different options, and we'll put it to a community poll vote as to what the message should be that goes on our 155 millimeter shell. Stay tuned for next week's live report. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we do a Intel Live report, a weekly recap of everything that's been going on in the global security realm. I think that's about it. I think that about sums up everything for this evening. If I missed anything, guys, send me a message. You can always PM me on Discord. You can always send me an email. I love reading your guys' emails. I read every comment. I read every message that's sent my way. But to everybody that tuned in this evening, guys, thank you so much for stopping by. Until next time, you are watching Nemico Network.
Nemico.